Hello, TCI family, Jonathan's Refuge. Gosh, I'm enamored by the colors in the sky behind me. You can kind of see the I don't even know how to make my hand go. It's trying to get my hand to go where I want it to go. There, going that direction, you can see the blues and the clouds, and it's gorgeous. I'm up here on top of our headquarters, 1,000 feet above sea level, overlooking Marysville and the Puget Sound, and very blessed to come to you today. Very cold, so forgive me. Um, for being a little chilly as we go through this. Tonight, we're going to discuss, how do you deal with difficulty tasks? When someone gives you a task that's hard, what do you do? And, I'm given a lot of tasks that are hard in my life. And one of them is right now called living. And I know you're like, yeah, whatever. No, living for me right now is a major thing. The last 2 years, I've been trying to recruit someone to our firm, our nonprofit, and not the church nonprofit, but another nonprofit we have that oversees all this. And our nonprofit finally got the ability. I had to sacrifice, and I don't want to say what I sacrificed, but I had to give something up that I was going to get this year, and I couldn't get it. I had to give it up for another person. Now, that's not easy to do sometimes, especially when you desperately need certain things. You know, um, I take no salary from my organization. I ran out about a month ago of some things that I needed, but I literally am that guy that puts his money where his mouth is. So when I say I give all my money away, I give it all away. And I didn't have certain medical things that are necessary, and my health is declining rapidly. Right. So what do? You got a task that the good Lord has asked me to build this vision that He gave me as a little boy to build refuges all over the world, so that we can help change the lives of another young man or woman who might be heading down a path that the old Irish beast went down. But now, because they were intervened and coming into the refuge in our church, TCI, the Church of Inclusion, we were able to stop them from going down that path. And so this vision's hard, it's heavy, it keeps me up at night. We have hundreds and hundreds of clients and patients in our mental health firm. We have men in 4 different houses at our Jonathan's Refuge, and we're trying to purchase another one right now. There's never enough. I have more people from prison that I get paid to house, and I can't even house them because I don't have enough facilities. And so these are things that I have to be challenged with on a daily basis. My executive teams and us, we got a list right now. I could house 30 people tomorrow morning, and I get paid for 6 months. And then I got a list of 30 more and 30 more and 30 more. It's never ending because the system's broke. But I have a plan. And for now, going on year 6, we have a 0% recidivism rate. We've not lost one guy back to prison. I know someday we will, but just not today. That motto, just not today, is why we still have not lost one back to prison, because it's just not going to happen today. I'll be damned if it's going to happen today. I will intervene in any way and every way to make sure it doesn't happen today. So we work really hard, but what happens when there's a strong sacrifice required? What do you do? Well, see, I always go above and beyond it. When employers told me to do something and they wanted, numbers here, in timeshare, if we sold 20 to 30%, that's your 15 to 25% your standard. 30%, yeah, you're okay. When you get into 40% closing, you're one of the big dogs in the world. So they wanted me to come in and help get their whole organization up to, I was closing numbers for myself between 60 and 70%. And they wanted me to duplicate that. And no one had done that in my business until me. I didn't give them, they wanted 40%. I didn't give them what they wanted. I went above and beyond that. I got them close to 80%. I doubled what they asked for. And do you know where my inspiration came from? Let me share with you. It's in the Bible, actually. It's in the book of First Samuel, chapter 18. Now, at the time, King David wasn't king yet. He was just a shepherd boy still, who had killed Goliath. And unfortunately, the current king, Saul, he wanted to kill him because he was jealous of everything about him, and he knew that he was going to be the next king. So he told him, "You want to marry my daughter? You got to go cut off 100 foreskins of 100 Philistines." So that means he had to go kill 100 men and cut off their foreskin. I know some of you are thinking right now, Big Mike. I know what you're thinking. He ain't gonna ask us to go cut off 100 foreskin, is he? No, no, I'm not. David went and didn't cut 100 foreskin. Instead, he went big and he killed 200 men and he cut 200 foreskin to just drop that bag and say, "There, I am the man." Boom. Make an impact. That's what I did. I used that same scripture in my timeshare world and in my sales career. And they said, "Well, if you could get 40%, you'd be the king." So I got 80%, dropped the mic and said, "I'm not king. I'm God of this business. The good Lord himself put me in control of this business and it's mine. And all of you are going to do what I tell you to do now." And they did, because I'm the guy that got the numbers. He who can make things happen gets everything. That's how it works. If you're the person, like right now, our organization in 6 years has a 0% recidivism. There's no other company on earth that needs to speak. We are the only ones. Nobody else has a stance to even stand on. They have no foundation. Why? Because they're all getting people back in prison. The system as it is broken. So you got to make something big. You got to do it massive, drastic impact. And that's what we did. But when you got nothing else to give, how do you find that mustard inside of you? How do you muster up the strength? Back in New England, there's a drink. It's a soda, and it's called Moxie. Moxy. Moxie. You might find usually you have to tell the grocer here to get it. I actually went into a store once in Seattle, and they actually had Moxie. It's an East Coast drink, and it's specifically a New England drink. People that are very stout, strong people that can handle the cold, people that have suffered. They drink Moxie. I never got it until, of course, I lived in Maine. And I drank this thing called Moxie, and I about spit it out. To me, it was nasty. Take like Dr. Pepper, the thickest motor oil you can get. They have a baby, and that's Moxie. I know it sounds gross. I'm sure I'm not doing it's a justice, and I'm sure someone out there's going to say Moxie's great. Every once in a while, I'll go and order a 6-pack at the Safeway and have them, tell them when it gets there and go get it, because it reminds me of the people that I met that taught me these lessons. Life is not hard. Life's going to suck. So life's hard. Life's going to suck. Nothing comes easy. Everyone you love is going to die. And anything you have that's working is eventually going to fall apart and be dead and trash. I'm just sitting there, and that's just on one hand. Wow. Sign me up, coach. Where do I get to go sign up for that kind of life? Well, you all did when you were born. So, unbeknownst to you, there's your future. Everything I just laid out. But how is it that it seems that 1 to 5% of the people on earth, somewhere between 1 and 5%, seem to always just be blessed? Like, yeah, they suffer, but they're blessed. Well, let me tell you, I suffer all the time. One of my best friends is her very close friend's dying right now. I just lost my dad, not even a few months back. Everyone dies. And it is so sad when we think about that. I lost my son. I got a couple more children. I don't want to ever think about burying another child, ever. But people die. You're going to lose your job because they fold up, or you get fired, or someone else does it better than you, or you get old and new younger people can outperform you, or there's a new machine that can do 3 people's job and it only takes 1 person to run it, and you're old and you're decrepit and you're falling apart like me. And you know what they do? They take you out there and they put you in that little pasture right there, and they put you out the pasture. That's life. So when that comes at you, I double down. So what I mean by that is when I go to climb these mountains and my body can't physically, listen, folks, I'm struggling. Your bishop here is struggling it's like no matter what the doctors and I can do, we can't seem to I'm battling a massive uphill climb. So they all say the same thing: take it easy, sleep on the couch, You got people now. You got the headquarters. No, we're not even close to what we need to be. We're not even near the vicinity. We're still just a multi-million-dollar organization. We are not a trillion-dollar company yet. And until we are, that's when I know that I can eliminate the prison system. Do you know what your world would be like if we can eliminate the prison system? I do. And that's why I work tirelessly to do that. And our church works tirelessly to do that. And that's why other countries are seeking us out and asking us for advice on how to make their prison system work. And we're starting to answer some of those calls because right now we're not really focused on the rest of the whole world. We're just going to focus on what we're doing right here in Washington and nail it. But now that we've got this nailed, that's what we focused on for 6 years. And now it's time to start expanding and exploding and having supernatural, exponential growth. With that comes a lot of pressure, stress, challenges, obstacles, and uphill battles, then sliding down to the next valley and growing at the bottom, then trucking up to the next mountain, which is taller than the previous one. And just when you get up there and you're like, yeah, and you look out, you go, oh my God, there's another mountain over there. Hey guys, let me give you some advice, some heads up here, real quick. The mountains never stop coming. You'll die climbing a mountain in life. That's how it works. But whenever it does happen, I double down. I work harder, faster, longer. Doctors tell me to sit on the couch. I actually will get up that day and go take a 2, 3, 4, 5 mile walk. Go ask my staff. They hate it. They're always expecting me to die. But that's why I'm alive. You see, I'm alive because I'm an honorary SOB. This bishop doesn't sit back and say, oh, well, my heart hurts today and I've already taken 3 nitro. Listen, either you believe in God or you don't. And if you believe in God, then let me tell you something. Your time is set. So move forward. Who cares? If it's my time today, it's going to happen sitting on the couch or out in that field working. It won't make a difference. Your time is preordained according to God. Now, if you don't believe in God, that's a whole other discussion. And again, it still works in the favor that I'm showing you. Because at the end of the day, if there's no God and your death is not predetermined and you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter, well, then it's real simple. Either you're going to sit on the couch and be a loser or you're going to get in the field and be a winner. Because if you don't believe in God and afterlife, that's fine. Then you are a man of science. And that means there's zeros or ones, winners or losers. See, this doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. Now, as a man who knows God, walks with God, and hopefully someday God calls me his friend, guess what? I've just learned. Push through it. It's when you're in the mountains, and a few of you that are watching this tonight at the refuge at the church in Marysville, I know that you guys, Ty Shaw, sorry about the rocking, the wind just picked up. Ty Shaw is in the church right now. He's gone with me on these mountains. TJ, he's gone with me. Mikey, he's gone with me. These men have gone up these big mountains with me. Ty, remember, son, when we were at Mount Baker and that throne that we had that was carved out of lightning on a tree? It ripped a tree open and it made a throne seat. And we were looking west as the sun set. And it was one of the most beautiful, epic things you'll ever see in your life. And when you think about that, when Ty and me were going up that mountain, Ty was trembling, his body was shaking. This is a man who burned himself from head to toe with gasoline to kill himself because that was the only solution at the time that he thought, the only option available. Now this young man is thriving, but that hill, he still has, his body was burned completely. They got shark fins, the actual like bone, cartilage and things in his body from sharks. That's why once in a while he'll say, fin me, because he's got their bones and the shark fins and the cartilage put throughout his whole body because of the bones that were burnt off. And this young man, he was trembling. And a couple of people are like, hey, this guy's doing bad. And I said, Ty, you okay? And he goes, I'm good. It's just hurts. And I said, well, let's push through it. And I said, I'm at the same point. But guess what? If we push through this, you're going to hit this little plateau. So as you climb and the higher you go, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And then you hit a plateau and nothing hurts anymore. Same thing when you're a runner. You know what I'm talking about. You start running, you're running. It's like, oh my God, my kidneys hurt, my, everything in my liver, all my body organs are hurting. And then you hit the zone that nothing hurts and you can go forever. And that's what happened on that mountain. and he pushed through. And he said to me, it was one of the hardest things he ever did. He was trembling, but he pushed through. And you know what he did the next time? He's like, yeah, I got this. I'll head back and take care of that guy. And he walked back and took care of the guy shaking. Oh, I'm hurting. I can't walk. This is hard. And he went back there and said, suck it up, Buttercup. You ain't been burned head to toe. You don't have shark cartilage in your bones as replacements. What's your excuse? And you know something? Some people go, you're not so nice. Nice is why you have all of those people going back to prison, because a bunch of mamsy-pamsies said, let's be nice to them. They had a bad life as a kid. So what? Suck it up, Buttercup. That's why we have a 0% recidivism rate. So Ty took that lesson to other men. Now Ty is a leader in our organization, leading men to the top, not just of mountains, but to the top of that ladder of success, to the top of that ladder of not going back to prison, to the top of the ladder of going to college. He's enrolled in college, trying to get other men to follow his suit. Hey, guys, Rev got me into the college over here. It's a great place. Let's get you guys in college here. I'd love to introduce you to people. Wow. All from one guy who barely could walk, and he was trembling and shaking, who pushed through. Had I listened to the naysayers, I wouldn't even be here right now. Neither would Ty, because none of this would be here. None of this beautiful view of our organization's headquarters, this gorgeous house that's built in 50 years ago that's being completely renovated, all those vehicles that are the companies, these $80,000 fifth wheels, all the gear, all the tractors, all the equipment, everything that we do on this property, to the indoor moon Ewok village we're building in the woods up here. All of it wouldn't be here had we said, let's take the easier road. So my question to you is, what are you going to do when it's time to push through? Are you going to cower down and do like everyone else? Or are you going to separate yourself and show yourself like David did in chapter 18? They requested 100 foreskin. He delivered 200. My boss asked for 40% closes. I gave him 80. Nice talking to you. Now I didn't have to do anything anymore after that. The reputation's set. The kingdom is put forth. Aren't you tired of not having your kingdom? You see, that's when I learned God wants us to be kingdom builders. And I know everyone says, yeah, but that's God's kingdom. My kingdom is God's kingdom. And people have a problem with that. People say, oh, no. This isn't my kingdom. I'm building God's kingdom. All those people that say they're only building God's kingdom, I know all those pastors. They all had affairs. They're still having affairs. A lot of them do drugs. I love the one. I won't say his name because I really want to, but he's a scumbag who had the prison release program here in this state. And I remember I preached at his church and I was talking about building your kingdom. And he was like, we don't build our own kingdoms. We build God's kingdom. Simultaneously, why he's building one of the biggest drug empires and was one of the biggest scumbags, using guys coming out of prison into his prison program. It was so sad. The people that talk about that are full of shit. Okay. So building your kingdom is God's kingdom. And here's how you know it's right or not. I've been building my kingdom my whole life. I was very successful, but I'm not as successful as I am right now. Right now, there is nothing I can't do that's not taking off. Every business we touch explodes. Anything I put in the old days, it called a plow. You had a plow and you put your hands on the plow, right? And each side had a stick coming up from the plow. And then you had an ox, a big cow in front of it, pulling your plow. And you had to steer it and push it in and move it. They pulled it, but you were the steerer. Whatever you put your hand to the plow, you might not be blessed or not. I've not had anything. There is nothing I'm doing that does not explode in exponential growth. So why is that? Because I'm building my kingdom, which is God's kingdom. See, when you align your kingdom with God's kingdom, nothing stops you. Your wish is God's command. Everything I've dreamed of, it's all happening. I don't have to even question. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. The rest of my life's completed. I don't have to financially think anymore. The rest of my life's done. I'm good to go because I finally figured it out. Once you allow no greed to be in you and nothing like money persuades you, I don't care about money. It means nothing to me. All that money is a little tool to use to get what I need in life. And what do I need? Nothing. So then what's it for? To help others find that peace that passeth all understanding. When you can sleep at night and your family is safe and secure, and you are safe and secure, and you have a future, you have a calling, you have a destiny, you know what your destiny is, you are on track to accomplish every goal. Yeah, you've arrived. That's when you know you got it. And you and God are in one. So then everything you ask for is going to be what God wants, which means you're going to get it. Because the universe is a boomerang. We've talked about this. Throw the boomerang out there. Whatever you shoot out comes back to you. So when you think of that, I want you to remember as we go out in our day, when we release negative energy into the world, that negative energy comes back to us. Had David said no to the king, and I'll get you 50, man, that's a big task, 50. Well, he wouldn't have been king, and the whole story of everything else wouldn't have happened. What have you missed because you weren't willing to go further? What is it you didn't get in your life? And most of the time, we blame everybody around us. I can't tell you how many times I used to blame the world. Well, it was that guy's fault, and my sales director messed up, or my VP messed up, or my spouse messed up. How about you take and point all the fingers back at you? When my VP messes up, do you know who I blame? Myself, because I hired the VP. Do you know what happens when my guys mess up? I blame who? The director of Jonathan's Refuge? No, I blame myself. I'm the head of the head honcho. The buck stops with me. All responsibility lies on my shoulder. So when you think of that, stop giving excuses why you can't push through. Well, I can't push through because I have mental health problems. Take that. That's the problem with our society. You got emotional issues. You don't need to work today. No, man, you need to work 2 jobs today if you got emotional issues. Get yourself buried in work and stop crying about all the problems. You will be happier at the end of the day. Make no mistake, because your bills will be paid and you'll have one less stressful thing to worry about. So I guess the moral is really simple. David decided to double down. What are you going to double down on this week? Think about that. Exercise, reading another book. I read a book a week. You know what I'm going to do this week just to double down? I'm reading 2 books this week. One on relationships because I want to be better at relationships. And the other one, I'm taking my company through them right now, learning what our why is all about. What is your why? Why are you here? Why are you on this earth? Why are you in the refuge right now? Why are you where you're at? What's your why? I love you guys. Maybe next week's sermon might be about your why.